Fruits of the cumulative effect. Let's discuss the nuances of different techniques and the first result of the cumulative effect. For me, when I connect with my attention and activate the points behind my back and above the back of my head, they unite at the same time, and this feels like a presence of the spirit of great power. This gives energy more than flows and allows you to set reality more effectively than the classic plait or braid. I imagine two braids coming out of the back of the head in the form of a bow, one obliquely down and the other up, and an energy string that is stretched between their ends. After the thought form is given, I imagine it in the form of an arrow of intention. I raise my head up and shoot into the sky, where the arrow explodes and spreads my intention throughout space, far, far away. These testimonials show that the experimenting with sacred techniques, you can discover your own technique that is right for you, because we're all different. If I'm lying with my back to another person before going to bed, and my braid is working, fully activated, can my braid pull someone else's? Some kind of interaction with the energy of the person next to you may take place. It's difficult to say for sure what kind. And it depends on various factors. It is better to manage your braids separately, and if lying down, then preferably on your back. I read the comments and envy, how other people talk about the braid as if it works. It works almost flawlessly for them, and no matter how hard I try, it does not work for me. To be honest, I've never felt flows. It's always the work of fantasy or in combination with attention. If you strain your fantasy apparatus and direct your attention to the desired area, you get something like a feeling. But as soon as you weaken the fantasy apparatus a little, the sensation disappears immediately. That means that you have little sensitivity to energy as it happens. There are people, for example, who are not visual, who do not succeed in visualization. In this case, you need to use thought forms. They also work. And in your case, you need to use not energy, but attention. And that also works. You may not feel, but the energy rushes to where the attention is directed. The braid can be replaced by attention. Here's the algorithm for illuminating the frame for those who do not feel the braid. 1. Enter the presence. Pay attention to what your attention is occupied by. Take control of it. 2. Just fix your attention on a point about an elbow distance or less behind your shoulder blades. So if you activate the braid, leaving part of your attention on this point, as if you have a clothespin there, or as he says later, just put a clothespin there, with the other part of your attention set to the target frame, in thought, words, or image. So you're going to fix the attention on the plate, a little bit between and behind your shoulder blades. And then take the other part, chewing bubblegum and walking, and you're going to have that on your intention of the target frame. So step 3, free your attention. It's that simple. I practiced the braid for several years periodically. For the last year, I systematically did it every single day. And yes, I didn't feel it either. My hands dropped. I needed proof. I felt the access point to the spirit immediately. Perhaps this is the tail of the braid, only it sticks up from the back of the head. Yes, it's also possible your braid is more readily activated not at the assemblage point, but at the point of spirit. So this is how it should be for you. Between the shoulder blades, I began to feel something, some point. With training, it seems to be easier to feel the entire braid. There's a problem with fixing your attention on the point at the same time and not losing it during visualization. Now he says, attach a clothespin between your shoulder blades to your shirt. You can feel it, and at the same time set the target frame with the other part of your attention. This is exactly how it's done, with 2 parts of attention. He is not able to make it any simpler than this. Chew bubblegum and walk. Put the clothespin on your shirt. Who cares? Put it on your back. So that way you have a fixed point of attention. And then bring up your target frame. Hold the 2 simultaneously. Practice that. Building that muscle of attention and concentration is the crux of this entire book. This is an easy practice that makes your life better. Use the point of unity with the spirit more often, through which access to the information field opens. Then, in parallel, the information field from the internet will be synchronized with the information coming from the field. You will save a lot of time. You will not watch everything. A lot is allowed from this state, and you know exactly what is allowed. And information does not come with thoughts. It comes with knowledge and sensations. This is quite an interesting and unusual level for an earthly person. When you do not need to think or calculate, you only need to feel and receive information. Frailing works very well from this state because you don't have to think of what to say to a person. The information comes directly. What to say and even additional information about the person can be revealed, or you can ask him the right questions. So in other words, you're in flow in the interaction. There's no force, there's no pretending, there's no mask. For practicing psychologists, this is a good thing. Communicating with people, keeping attention to the point of spirit, at least for a short time, is a very interesting practice. There can be interesting results. For example, people will feel your importance or feel compassion, connection, he uses the word sympathy in the translation, for you. It happens like this with most practices. People wake up for a while, start doing some exercises, and get some results. Beginners are often lucky. That is, the universe gives gifts in advance. And then comes time for the daily work with very modest results, and people quit. At one time during the practice of Qigong, it was explained to me that this is normal, that you need to be ready for this, and that those moments in which nothing seems to work out are the most valuable. And you need to stupidly continue to practice again and again. Then the period of calm passes, and you're surprised to find yourself in a beautiful world. You understand that the problems that have tormented you for years have just disappeared. True, some other tasks and challenges have appeared, since the development process is endless. Yes, in order to develop sustainable results, systematic practice is needed, but this is an exciting path to your perfection. Why turn away from it? After entering the state of spirit in the evening, I could not sleep at night. The nervous system was very excited. Could this be? This is totally normal, since you've received a powerful upgrade of energy and you're not used to it yet. Why, when I wake up and walk around, on the contrary, I get the feeling that I'm sleeping, and everyone else is so meaningful, doing some kind of thing? It's very strange, and in general, I notice that I'm almost always under anesthesia. That is the theory of relativity. If everyone around you is crazy and you are normal, then you will seem abnormal, and anesthesia is a script. You need to set your target shots so that the script works for you. And then most of the time you can sleep peacefully in it, waking up only by activators. The point of the spirit above the back of the head, or above the top of the head, what is it? Yesterday I felt a pillar from my head up, distinct. It turns out above the top of the head. Above the back of the head at an angle up and back. But you can subjectively feel as if over the top of your head. Don't fall too far into the geometry. Catch your feelings. Where you feel better, that's your point. Listen to what your body tells you. I don't feel anything up at an angle. I feel this point exactly above my head. It's as if the heavens are opening up above my head and there is an infinite and beautiful cosmos. And there is a connection between us. The feeling arose immediately at the moment when I first read about the technique. It has not changed since then. But here's a question. It's so similar to being pulled by a string like a puppet. And I think if these sensations are right, so far I'm practicing and observing. I tried other places to feel behind my head, but there are no sensations anywhere else. And here it is immediately. It becomes like a puzzle to a puzzle. Yes, this is the real thread of the puppet, by which you are led by the script of the current film. Technically, we're all connected to it in the same way as though it's a cable. In the book Priestess Itfat, it is mentioned as you are led by the braid, as if you voluntarily give it into someone else's hands. And at the moment when you enter the presence, the thread is in your hands. You detach yourself from the script and get the freedom to act consciously at your own discretion, at least for a short time. This is enough to set the target frame and move to the desired film. Essentially, it's a small window of being the puppet master, setting the script for your life. You When that window is synchronized, that's when we have the power to shift. Do the shift then, and then we go back into walking through the script. I believe is Tufty 2, walking through a live movie. So this is that moment where we sort of hit that synchrony. It's like shifting a stick shift without using the clutch. Perfect synchrony, change the reel, continue walking. To me, the state of spirit and activation of the plate at the point of spirit seem more effective and stronger than the state of presence and the activation of the braid at the assemblage point, although they are also very effective. I've already explained to you you could consider alternatives. Presence, or state of the spirit, activation of the braid at the assemblage point or the point of spirit. Experiment and find what your body and your spirit resonates with. Here's some comments. The reviews do speak for themselves. I really feel the effect of accumulation. There is an ever-growing sense of confidence. I become calmer and more balanced. Things that could annoy me before infuriated me, they don't touch me anymore. I look at these stimuli that used to catch as if from the outside, as if I feel as I've become some kind of sage. They no longer touch me. The remaining negative markers are repressed, somehow by themselves. Not only my reality is transformed for the better, but also myself. That is, I am filled with myself, or something. I've changed a lot and continue to change. Others don't recognize me, but I recognize myself now. Here I am, and this is what I am. There is indeed a cumulative effect, only for me it's somehow discrete. In portions, this is definitely real because it began after the practices with the point of spirit, and the markers dissolve gradually. And this is only the very beginning of the path. Such a battery will not run out, unlike the body from the outgoing era. Yes, there is a strong feeling that this is the beginning of something, and this is very cool. If earlier I woke up with interest in what would happen today, how it would turn out, now this interest has doubled. In the morning, I generally feel excitement in the first few minutes. So far as I can only say that when you enter the state of spirit, you feel as if you are above everything. You go out of the boundaries of the body, at the same time remaining in it. You see yourself and everyone else from the outside. You come to a state of complete serenity, peace, such a neutral position. Let's say you occupy. I noticed that when I performed the techniques of entering this state of spirit, I immediately began to flow energy through my body. And this has had a cumulative effect because I have more energy. Sometimes I just want to jump and spin. And recently there was an incident at one event when one of my acquaintances came up to me and began to try to start a scandal with me. I immediately caught it, entered the state of my spirit, smiled, and noticed that nothing swayed me at all. My state was calm and full. And then I moved away from her and went about my business. Once again, I note that feelings are largely individual. Not everyone can feel a surge of energy as if something fills you when you enter the state of spirit. Don't worry if you don't have that experience. The energy is still increasing. Just do this practice from time to time in different situations, literally along the way, and the results will come. The spirit technique works instantly. After doing it, I feel expansion, and the state of I am attention itself stays for a long time. I became calmer, and I slowed down, and a smile appeared on my lips, a state of serenity. I noticed that my space had changed qualitatively. Now it's a whole new world for me, especially the state of wholeness. It's as if I had the missing link, and I am whole, calm, confident, and serene with a barely noticeable, radiant smile. Summary. By experimenting with common or standard techniques, you can discover your own unique technique that is right for you, because we are all different. If you don't feel energy, you just need to use attention. It also works. Where attention goes, there is energy. The braid could be replaced with attention. The braid may be more likely to be activated not at the assemblage point behind the shoulder blades, but at the spirit point above and behind the top of the head. Attach a clothespin between your shoulder blades to your shirt. You can feel it, and at the same time set the target frame with the other parts of your attention. This is exactly how it is done, with 2 parts of attention. Not everyone can feel a surge of energy in the state of spirit. Don't worry about this. The energy will increase in any case. When you are in a state of spirit, people may feel your importance or connection with you. Systematic practice is needed to achieve sustainable results. You need to set your target shot so that the script works for you. Then most of the time you can sleep peacefully in it, waking up only by activators. Consistency is key. Normalizing the state is key. Once the script gets set, we can go back to sleep and running through the script have that life that suits our heart. You can consider alternatives, presence or state of spirit, activation of the braid at the assemblage point or the point of spirit. Experiment and find your individual preferences. A sense of confidence, calmness, and balance is accumulated. Negative markers are displaced. The energy status greatly increases.